can see there that Tim Sherwood, the Blackburn skipper, has had his hair cut. That is a superstitious gesture. He hopes for a change of luck, he says. So a ticker-tape welcome for a really big game in the championship battle. Blackburn Rovers against Newcastle United, and you would think, looking at the mathematics and the remaining games, that Blackburn Rovers just have to win this one. Newcastle, though, will have other ideas. Come back in a moment.
Might need you, lads. Ewood Park tonight for the Monday Night Football. Blackburn Rovers against Newcastle United. 7:40 kickoff. But before we go, we'll be having a minute's silence in memory of Noel Brotherston, big favourite at Ewood Park. He played here for more than 10 years, made more than 300 league appearances for them. Was a Northern Irish international, won 27 full caps. He died at the weekend of a heart attack, aged 38.
Please join in silence as we remember Noel Brotherston.
Can they win tonight for Noel Brotherston? That would be a fitting tribute. Blackburn Rovers against Newcastle United, live here on Sky Sports. Our match commentators Andy Gray and Ian Dark.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. The referee tonight is Philip Don. It's his last match in league football. A referee who's handled World Cup matches, FA Cup final, European Cup final, League Cup final. In 28 years with a whistle in his hand, he has handled over 2,000 matches, and this is quite some game to go out on, isn't it? On a day when Britain has been celebrating the spirit of 1945, Blackburn Rovers aiming to recreate the mood of another famous war year, 1914, when they won the championship. They can't clinch it tonight, but they can turn the heat back on Manchester United, who've been closing on them.
Yeah, the word I used against West Ham was they looked a little flat to me, Blackburn Rovers. I'm sure they'll try and get the quick start that United got yesterday.
Peacock getting that away to Beardsley. Beardsley who'll be teamed up in attack tonight with Robert Lee, who was pushed forward in the 3-3 draw that Newcastle had with Spurs at St James's Park the other night. By all accounts, one of the matches of the season. And Blackburn Rovers will hope that Newcastle don't make a similar start here, because they were 2-0 up in a matter of minutes that night. Here's Shearer. What Blackburn wouldn't give for an early goal to settle those nerves.
Well, it doesn't always work, Ian. They got an early goal against Manchester City, and it didn't work to plan for them.
Sutton to Lasso. Kenner back in the left-back position tonight. And a good block by Mark Hottiger. Hottiger, of course, scorer of that famous free-kick goal here in the third-round FA Cup replay that helped Newcastle on the way to a 2-1 win. By the way, in 3 meetings between these two sides this season, Blackburn Rovers yet to chalk up a win. They need to change that this time. Newcastle themselves finding that their place in Europe that looked to formality is in some danger. Oh, they're dropping across very dangerously here. Both Sutton and Shearer were in there. It wouldn't fall for either of them quite. All cut out by Will Fox. Lee, and then Beardsley through the gap for Lee Clark, and Hendry had to be alert. Great run from the centre of the midfield from Clark. Now Ripley, and offside.
That was a great example of what they faced tonight, though. Movement all over the front line from Newcastle. Beardsley and Lee trying to open up the centre-backs. And Lee Clark's run, well, almost on the end of a great pass from Peter Beardsley. And that's why the two centre-backs, Pearce and Henry, have got to be so alert tonight. I expect the movement in front of them to be very, very good.
Colin Hendry, such a linchpin, having his best ever season at the heart of that Blackburn defence, and one of the big reasons that they have these championship dreams. And David Batty here, look at the superstitious gesture from him. He's cut the collar off his shirt deliberately, like Sherwood, into the superstitions and hoping that the luck changes. Only 4 points out of the last 12 for Blackburn. This is Robert Lee. Oh, giving it away here to Ripley. Shearer here, and Howie given the opportunity and taking it. Bad ball from Lee, which set up the danger.
I thought Stuart Ripley let them off the hook a little bit. I thought he could have gone on and carried the ball a little bit further.
Fox letting it run. Sherwood getting the foot in. Is Alan Shearer. All understandably frenetic and a little disjointed early on. But you'd expect that in this kind of dramatic end-of-season situation we have here. Batty. Now Jeff Kenner. Lasso, who's pushed up into this wide left midfield position again tonight. We do have a problem there because of the continued absence of Jason Wilcox. Sherwood towards the near post, they let it run. Oh, Sernacek really had to react there right at the last minute, otherwise that was in.
Good goalkeeping. That really was good goalkeeping. Look at that, he had to be brave, Ian. That's the marks of Alan Shearer's boot that we see on the goalkeeper's face. It's a clever dummy by Sutton. Steps over it. Look at that, Shearer's really committed to that. The goalkeeper's concentration really had to be good there. Had he taken his eye off this ball at all, Sernacek, that could have just drifted into an open net.
Well, Pavel Sernacek was the saviour for Newcastle United there, with 4.5 minutes on the clock when that incident happened. Great dummy, wasn't it, from Sutton? This is Beresford for Newcastle. It looks like Lee's offside. He is. Newcastle United won their first 5 away matches this season, but they've only won 1 in the league away from home since mid-October. That's been a major reason why they've been sliding down from their perch at the top of the table early season.
Yeah, 6 away points seen out of a possible last 45. Now that tells you where the problems are for Kevin Keegan and his side. The home record is fantastic, only 1 defeat by Leeds United all season. But that's been like a fortress at games.
And of course they have Leeds United breathing down their necks now and possibly going to deny them a UEFA Cup place unless they pull their socks up in these last couple of games, Newcastle.
Well, that's why it's such a big game for Kevin Keegan and his side, Ian. It would be nothing short of, well, not a major disaster, but a major disappointment. Having finished third last year, not to qualify for Europe this season when they had such a wonderful start. And Leeds are putting in such a strong and powerful finish to the season.
Oh, Ripley here.
They've got to win games to make sure of Europe.
Little alarm there for a moment, but Ripley's run soon cut out. The ball given away again by Newcastle. And Cernicek cannot handle that one. Just to clarify that position, it's a bit complicated who qualifies for Europe, but you have to be in the top 5 to make sure of it. At the moment, Newcastle are 5th, but only because they have a goal difference, one better than Leeds United, who are 6th. And Leeds play Palace tomorrow night at home. That's Beresford with the header. Ripley on towards Shearer. Just Sutton waiting in the middle, but Steve Howie, who made his England debut this season, is the man monitoring his England colleague. Great atmosphere here. The Blackburn public praying for a win. Kenner in hard. Now here's Sherwood, the skipper, to Lasso. Spread towards Shearer. Looks for support. Here's Batty providing a little. And wide is Ripley. Fox getting back and make sure that there's double marking when Ripley gets it wide on the right. Lee Clark. Beardsley. Clark pulled away into some space. Not many men forward, more beginning to arrive now. Beardsley towards Lee. Henry's challenge. Fair enough, says the referee.
No, Robert Lee didn't think so, but I thought that looked pretty fair. Looked to have taken the ball. It was a good break, but you're quite right, in lack of numbers. Once Lee Clark had broken down the left-hand side, meant that they had to just hold up the play a little bit and allow people to catch up with him a little. But it's not so bad to bring in, change the team, and Lee Clark's the player you have to bring in because he's got happy memories of Ewood Park last time he played here, scoring the winning goal in that FA Cup tie.
But currently on the transfer list at St James's Park is Lee Clark. Here's Steve Watson, who had a bit of a stormer against Spurs the other night, playing deeper tonight though. Here's Gillespie, former Manchester United player, of course. So there's some irony in this situation for him. Watson to Beardsley. Now Will Fox out on the left-hand side. Beardsley. One of those little shimmies again from him, and that always spells danger for any defence in the Premiership.
Yeah, he just drops off the play. And that's why he's such a nightmare to mark. You see, he just dropped off the back 4, and he's got himself a couple of yards of space. Quick feet that we know he has. Shifts it with the right, with the left. Doesn't really trouble Tim Flowers, but that's a little warning. And if you don't get pressure on him quickly from 30 yards in, then he's always likely to open himself out for the shot.
With a defensive header, then Beresford. Howie again under a bit of pressure over on that far side. Steve Howie, who in earlier years there was talk that he might be a new Alan Hansen, was Kevin Keegan's hope. Well, he's in the England squad. This is played long towards Lasso, but it's cut out by Hoffiger. Now here's Gillespie. Doesn't find Lee because Kenner cuts it out. Sherwood looking for movement ahead of him. Ooh. Darren Peacock.
Well, I think he was just letting Graham Lasso know he was around there.
Kenner. Looking for the 1-2 with Lasso. Blackburn, who've won 16 of their 20 home matches at Ewood Park this season, and this is the last of them. They already have 86 points. In some years, it would be good enough already to lift the championship. But this year, don't think so. They need more. Watson. Blackburn will be hoping that Newcastle don't come here and play with the same verve and ambition that Manchester City produced here a couple of weeks ago in that spectacular Easter Monday game we brought you.
Well, they'll play with that. They'll play with the same determination. It's whether they play with the same quality.
Well, Stuart Ripley, who just can't score this season, way off target there.
Well, now's the time. Come with the hour. Time for your first goal.
Wouldn't be bad, would it? Or even at Anfield on Sunday. It could go right down to the wire. In fact, it's beginning to look as if it will. Now then, here's Peter Beardsley, who's finding quite a bit of space. Looking to find Clark, who has already made some quite telling runs from midfield. Now here's Chris Sutton. Peacock is there. Goals have rather dried up for Chris Sutton. He's only got 2 in the last 15 matches. But he does do a heck of a lot of work.
Yeah, he does. Sometimes I think they ask him to do a little bit too much for a striker at times.
Same towards Sutton, and then Shearer with the instinctive little header. Couldn't get any power in it.
He had a yard or two, it dropped behind him. That was the key. Sutton winning the first header was a good one. Uses his strength, holds off Peacock. But you can see Alan Shearer has to take one step away from goal, trying then to turn and put power into the header. And didn't get over the top of it.
Will Fox back to Beresford. There are an awful lot of Manchester United supporters around the country who have a sudden passion for Newcastle this evening. This is Hottiger. Good little run too with Lee. Hottiger continues with his run. He obviously fancies himself in the goal-scoring stakes on this ground, having got 1 here this season. Shearer, Ripley, and now Sutton. Nice looking move, but that's just a bit short, I think. And it's very well cut out, with Lee dropping back very, very deep.
Just a final ball from Chris Sutton. Didn't have enough pace on it. And Robert Lee was able to get back and fill in. Playing up front tonight, but that gives you an idea of the appetite the Newcastle lads have for the game. And he's back in the right back area, making a sliding tackle.
Hottiger's ball does find Rule Fox. Beardsley's making a little run through the centre. Wasn't really picked up either. Instead they use Gillespie. And Blackburn, in the shape of Henning Berg, concede the corner.
Good change of play from Newcastle.
Well, the anxiety level rises among the Blackburn fans as Newcastle swing in the corner kick. Pearce got it away. Beresford, that was a happy deflection for him. It's a bit of a late challenge by Shearer, but Newcastle had the ball anyway. Clark. Duffy can pick that up, and that will Newcastle pay for that. Sherwood leading the break. Shearer out wide. And that's a body check by Beresford, according to the linesman, who was a matter of 3 yards away from it.
Yeah, that's an easy decision for Philip Dawn. Pushes it past John Beresford.
So Blackburn Rovers with the free kick.
They worked this free kick quite well, actually. Shearer and Sutton go towards the free kick, Ian. And then they just spin away and head for the near post area.
And the ball doesn't reach any of them. It wasn't what Blackburn wanted at all.
No, it's got to be delivered better than that.
This time it's Batty, but Fox cuts it out. And Gillespie looking around for some support. Running at Kenner. Good challenge by the Irish international fullback. And all wasted by Lasso. And Gillespie now has a chance to get his cross in. Lasso retrieves his own error. Berg scored for Norway in their recent victory over Luxembourg, and Norway looking good for a place in the European Championships here next summer. Kenner whipped away by Mark Hottiger. Here's Ian Pearce back in the Blackburn side, having been left out at West Ham. The man to drop out for Blackburn is the Dutchman Richard Witschke. Well, the Newcastle fans here in numbers as always, and dressed for the role as well by the look of it. Looks like the local nunnery have come. The colours are right anyway. Bit of argy-bargy between Fox and Berg, ends in a Blackburn free kick.
Well, with the early goal not having your eye for Kenny Dalglish's side now, I think it's just time now that they don't do anything rashy, and they would have loved an early goal like Manchester United had yesterday. Hasn't arrived now after approaching 20 minutes.
Will Kenny Dalglish have to go back to Anfield in search of the title on Sunday, needing a win?
Well, he hopes so, at least.
Well, he'd love for it to be settled before that, but it might be a luxury that Blackburn don't have, because even if they win this tonight, Manchester United will keep things alive if they can beat Southampton on Wednesday night.
Good race this. Stuart Ripley desperately trying to keep her in, just turns his foot round it. Looking desperate for a corner, but you can see quite clearly that was a goal kick.
Just worth reiterating the situation. If Blackburn win, they go 5 points clear and will win the title with a victory at Anfield on Sunday, whatever else Manchester United do. But they've got to win this tonight first of all. Sutton keeps it in play. Lasso's in there, Shearer's at the back post, and Peacock does his defensive job very well.
Well, one centre-back did very well, the other not so good. Steve Howe went to ground and was beaten rather easily. Just here, he goes to ground when he's got a 2-against-1 situation and really makes up Sutton's mind. And then Lasso looks to get in near post. Peacock was having none of it.
20 minutes gone at Ewood Park on an early summer's evening, and amid great anxiety, no breakthrough yet for Blackburn. Ripley flicks that on. Berg's flip, in fact, to Ripley. Now Fox.
If you're Blackburn and Manchester United, you don't really care when the breakthrough comes, as long as it comes. Whether it be the opening 5 minutes as yesterday, or it might even take till the last 5 minutes tonight. But as long as it comes and you're in the top two, then that's the important thing.
Well, when we were here a couple of weeks ago, it did look, didn't it, when they needed just, what was it, 8 points from the last 5 games. It looked almost a formality. Manchester United had drawn at home in the afternoon with Chelsea, and then it all started to go wrong for Blackburn. A couple of defeats and 1 win since then. Here's Fox. Beresford on towards Clark, but the offside flag is up.
When Newcastle passes in full flow and when it's good and accurate, Ian, it looks to me as if it can cause 1 or 2 problems to Blackburn.
Up towards Sutton. Here's Shearer, looking to add to his 35 goals already this year. Now just symptomatic of the way things are not quite rhyming at the moment for Blackburn. Ball cut out, Shearer. Beresford smuggling it away from him. Of course, with each of the Blackburn are without Wilcox wide left, but look how much Newcastle have missed Scott Sellers since he's been out. He's the man who gives them so much balance on the left-hand side, and he's been missing now for 6 months or more. Possession for Newcastle.
That won't surprise many.
Graham Lasso. Still Lasso. Good challenge again from Peacock, who's started very well in that defence now. Newcastle looking to break up quickly. Fox. Very good challenge by Bird. Sherwood here. Still Sherwood. Might be something for Blackburn here. And there may have been a better option for him in Lasso out left.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, there was a good option in Lasso left. There's no doubt about that. But it did open up for Tim Sherwood, rather. Peter Beardsley goes to ground and doesn't make it. But look at that. It's opened up for him, Ian. It's there to be hit. And when you're looking for a goal, you know, you do have to take these opportunities. That's disappointing, is it? I think he was saying, like you, he maybe should have picked out Lasso. But he wouldn't have said that had it in the top corner.
The tension and anxiety really showing them for Kenny Dalglish. Here's Hottinger for Newcastle. Newcastle with just 1 win in their last 7 matches. They've drawn the last couple. Lee on towards Gillespie, who hasn't really been able to get past Jeff Kenner yet.
No, but the football's lovely to watch, Newcastle. I thought yesterday Sheffield Wednesday had lots of possession of the ball, but didn't really hurt Manchester United at all. Didn't look to. But I think with Newcastle tonight, they are looking for the killer ball, the killer pass, the one that will test the back four.
Taken short to Hottinger. Some half-hearted claims for a handball, but none from any of the players. Beardsley. Free kick, Newcastle. Black and white striped shirts forward here, including big Steve Howie. This one's driven in by Beardsley. Was that a handball by Lasso? It looked like it. It's given.
Yeah, just use his arm, just watch it as it sits up, just there, at the top of the arm to nudge it away from Watson.
Beardsley's going to take this one. Peacock is there. He claims he might have been held there, but it was the other way round. Peacock was the one doing the shoving.
Well, it was certainly climbing all over Ian Pearce. There was all sorts of movement going on there in the box. Newcastle players looking to make life difficult. You can see it there. The referee's got a good view of that one. I think Peacock thinks it was a pretty honest. You see there, he's climbing all over his opposite number rather a lot.
Sherwood loses possession to Clark. Henry. Not sure he really wanted the ball there from Pearce. Blackburn clear their lines in the end. Now here's Beardsley. Clever by Henry, but Newcastle with Andy Cole gone these days and Kitson injured don't really have an authentic central striker.
No, they don't, but that sometimes makes life difficult for centre-backs. They're thinking, well, why is there no one here for me to pick up? And they sometimes get dragged into false positions, Ian, and then that does allow people to come from deep, as Lee Clark will do, as Peter Beardsley will no doubt do.
Peter Beardsley's almost back in the midfield, isn't he, tonight?
Well, he just plays natural game, Peter. He won't go and stand up there and be marked by two big lads.
Berg with the throw then for Blackburn Rovers. Watson's header's a bit dodgy, Sutton's in there. And Cernacek had to be quick. Shearer back to Batty. And here's Lasso. Still in play, and Shearer's in there, and it's a goal! Alan Shearer's done it for Blackburn Rovers. That's what they wanted.
That is a magnificent cross from Graham Lasso. Darren Peacock thought he had retrieved the situation here. When he gets back in as this drops to David Batty's left foot, Shearer's involved here. He pops it off to Batty. Batty thinks I've scored, but he hasn't. But watch how well Lasso does. Takes a touch and then digs it out. And that's what you call a determined challenge. There's only one winner there, Ian. And it wasn't going to be the man in black and white shirt. It was going to be the one in the blue and white. Climbing all over John Beresford. He's up early. He's going to run it. Beresford's off a standing jump. One winner, one result. Blackburn 1 up.
Well, that's what Blackburn Rovers were praying for. They're 1 up here just before the half-hour mark. And Alan Shearer's got 36 for the season. And it's 33 now in 41 league games. That one could turn out to be the most important of the lot.
What a good time for them. The half-hour mark, where maybe one or two of the less experienced players might have been feeling a little bit nervous at not having made the break. And not only that, not really threatening the Newcastle goal. Maybe one scare for Cernacek when Shearer caught him in the face in that cross ball earlier. But apart from that, Newcastle had coped quite well.
Well, on this day, big celebrations now among the Blackburn Rovers fans, but there's still an hour of this to come. Lasso. Again, Shearer is the target. Howie cutting it out. Now it's Henning Berg. Back towards Sutton. In towards Shearer. Down to Lasso. You've still got it, Blackburn. This really is one of the biggest nights in their history, Blackburn Rovers, as Kenner turns us in again. Cernacek gets there, and Beardsley smuggles it away from Sherwood, who was lurking, and then Henry's effort is over the bar and wide.
Well, they've turned the temperature up slightly since the goal, haven't they? But let's have another look at that. Well, I just think it's a great ball here. To dig that one out, Ian, he bypasses the near post, which is covered by goalkeeper and defenders, but look at how high Shearer is above Beresford. And the key to it is that he had a running jump and Beresford didn't, and Kenny Dalglish enjoyed that.
That's how much it meant to him. Alan Shearer, who used to stand on the Gallowgate end, of course, at Newcastle, scoring yet again against the club he supported as a boy. Berg. Kenner. On towards Sutton. Lasso. Looking to run Hottiger, and the decision is corner. And Lassau's beginning to cause a few problems down there.
Yeah, I think this is the best combination with Wilcox not available. Lassau ahead of Kenner. And I've just found it a little bit strange in recent weeks that hasn't been used more often here. Because he's very, very comfortable, Lassau, when he's going forward, high up the pitch, and he's got good delivery.
Ripley, oh, he's Pearce, didn't make a header with it, and it came off Howie and nearly went into his own net.
Well, Pearce should have scored. Quite simply, this should have been goal number 2. Can only think he's taken his eye off it. 1 or 2 claiming for a pass back there, but it was just instinctive. The ball dropped, sticks out a leg. I think it's Steve Howie, but that's not a deliberate pass back. That would have been very harsh. Philip Dawn knew that. But Ian Pearce should certainly have given them a 2-goal advantage, and he knows it. Look at the disappointment on his face. Glorious opportunity.
Plays striker as well, doesn't he, sometimes too? Was a great opportunity. Nobody picked him up at all, have they? Kenner's the man injured.
Well, he's gone up with a big committed lad. You see that, the left arm just caught him there as he goes up.
I think it was Hendry's arm.
Was Colin Hendry's arm, yeah.
Purely accidental, of course.
Well, Colin Hendry he'll get up and call and say, listen, when the ball's up there, let me deal with it, you get out the way. You give me some cover.
I think that's exactly what he is saying. It looked like it. You lip read it to perfection, I think, Andy. He does have every right to say that as well, Henry. He's been the boss in the air so often back there this season for Blackburn. Pearce getting this one away. Could easily be 2-0. Probably should be. Now Lee Clark. Beardsley wide for Gillespie. Goes past Kenner and gets his cross in this time. And this time Pearce with a much better effort under his own bar. And he had to make contact with that one, all right. That's Lee. First time there, Newcastle just got Keith Gillespie in down on the right-hand side, and that may be their most profitable route.
Well, when it comes to Peter Beers as he is now, Ian, that ball is on all the time, because Blackburn do tuck in and make things very narrow.
Gillespie's crossed again, nobody there.
The typical of Peter Beersley, he's spotted that and he's just dropping off the play. And when it comes from the left side, Gillespie's giving them really good width in the right. Beers is in acres, he's just turning it and just swinging it out to the right-hand side.
Beardsley's cross takes a deflection. Fox with the back header. Out it comes to Watson here. And Clark, this is danger here. Fox whips it away. And, well, if he'd gone down there, it might have been interesting. But he didn't.
Well, it's at times like that when the nerves, I think, really show. A little bit of pressure, a lot of bodies in the box, and they're scrambling it away at times.
Blackburn have just been that bit less convincing of late. Howie gets a second bite of that. Ever since they let in that last-minute equaliser, Leeds on the Easter Saturday, it's been hard work for them, but they're one up tonight through Shearer yet again. Sherwood to Batty. Now it's Lassau. Sanicek does his job. And down goes Clark under Sherwood's challenge. Sherwood says it's a fair cop, ref.
Well, there's still some work to do.
Henningberg back to Flowers. penalty. And that's offside against Ripley. And that's too long for Fox. Now the developing championship plot continues on Wednesday, of course, when Manchester United are at home to Southampton. We're on the air live with that game for you at 7 o'clock. Don't forget that, Manchester United against Southampton. And if Blackburn hold on to their lead here, United will have to win that. Otherwise, the championship is going to Ewood.
Let's give it 45, 50 minutes before we start talking about it.
I did say if. I did say if. And he's quite right, of course. Plenty can happen here yet. Lissow. Now here's Jeff Kenner. Now Hoffinger just rather lost his balance there, and Shearer is able to pick this up. Fair move again from Blackburn.
I think the goals helped them. Settled them.
Will Fox playing tonight against his old mate, Chris Sutton. I bet those two were not too pleased when they heard about Norwich going down. How Norwich missed the pair of them. Now here's Beresford. Clark just in the channel. Fox. Only Lee really in the middle. Flowers was credited with an own goal when Newcastle equalised late on against Blackburn in the corresponding league match at St James's Park earlier in the season. Here's Batty. Howie, bit dodgy here. Peacock's there to help him. Clark, oh, good ball. Fox here, and vital challenge by Pearce.
Lovely ball from Lee Clark, perfectly weighted.
And it was a gorgeous ball from Lee Clark. Fox. An instinctive little effort on the turn from Will Fox, who's come up with 11 goals this season. That's not a bad return for him.
No, it isn't. It's good. Particularly operating majority of the time wide and either left or right, and that's not a bad return at all. You'd take that from all your midfield players, double figures. You'd be pretty happy with that.
Under 5 minutes to the break. Blackburn 1, Newcastle 0. Alan Shearer just before the half-hour mark with his 36th goal of the season, giving Blackburn an absolutely crucial lead. But they have found it quite hard lately to keep clean sheets. Beresford. Hendry. But Lee gets it in the end. So much the leader, isn't he, out there as well, Hendry in the defence.
Oh, certainly. He's had a wonderful season, the big Scot.
By all accounts, wasn't too far away in the Footballer of the Year voting. Now then, Peacock and Sutton. Sutton, who was the scorer of a great goal at St James's Park in the FA Cup earlier this season. Oh, Shearer in behind here, and onside. Howie challenging. Here is Shearer. Can he make it two? Howie with a brave block. Well, that was another near thing.
It was a very tight decision not I say on Chris Sutton, but you see Alan Shearer, it's very, very close, Shearer himself, to being offside, but the linesman lets it go. Now once he'd brought it back inside, I thought, go on, left foot. But he wasn't happy with that option.
That was Batty. Very rare you see him on the score sheet. It's only his 4th appearance back after that long-term broken foot injury that he had.
That was a decent strike. He gets forward. Comfortable save in the end.
Off the referee to Ripley. Lee. Past Sherwood. Gillespie. This looks dangerous. Clark is in the middle, so is Fox, but so is Berg too, importantly. And then Batty completing the clearance. 10 attempts on goal, 8 of them from Blackburn. And on target, 5-0.
Good ratio. Over 50% of your attempts are going on target. You're testing the goalkeeper, then you're bound to get a reward. But I was a little surprised, honestly, with Alan Shearer. So high in confidence in that when he did turn inside, Steve Howe liked that. And it was on his left foot. Admittedly not his strongest side. I thought he might try a little curler.
Newcastle trying to grab an equaliser late in the first half with Hottiger. Keith Gillespie. Promising, Clark. 1-2, Clark again. Pearce blocks it. Sherwood trying to find some space in there. Now he's done that. Good composure. Oh, it's been given away by Batty, and here's Rule Fox. Will Blackburn pay for this? Beardsley here! Oh, that's a tremendous save by Flowers. He saved Blackburn there.
Oh, that's a magnificent save, it really is. Peter Beardsley hits some great shots this season. This is as good as anything he's hit. He sets it out wide, it's coming back in. And Tim Flowers needs every bit of his 6-foot-plus frame to get a touch on that.
And he's got that as well. Well, I tell you something, in any save of the season competition, put that one in.
Well, I noticed David Batty patted him on the back after this because it was his mistake that allowed him to break. And he knows he's got to stop it and get something on it. And he did that. Sheer quality.
Absolutely brilliant save, that, from Tim Flowers. It could work out to be crucial in the final reckoning. What a save.
Right on the stroke of half-time as well.
Oh. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Here's Beardsley, who was so unlucky. It was a great shot. Gillespie. Sherwood attacking it, but Blackburn have given it away again. They can't afford to keep doing that. The nerves are showing all right at times. Possession being uncharacteristically surrendered.
I'm not so sure if it's nerves or just some very sloppy and casual passing.
They'll be glad to hear the half-time whistle. Alan Shearer with his 36th goal of the season. It was made by Graham Lasso. Blackburn should have had another one as well through Ian Pearce, but this save from Tim Flowers was stupendous on the stroke of half-time. And so Blackburn lead Newcastle by 1-0, and the championship seems that little bit closer, but we've 45 minutes to go here, so don't go away.
Players are wandering back out onto the pitch here. We're about to settle down, of course, with the rest of the nation for a 2-minute VE Day silence.
As the players now congregate in the centre circle, we're joining the nation in 2-minute silence this evening to commemorate this VE Day anniversary 50 years ago today, the anniversary of victory in Europe. We now ask you to join us in observing 2-minute silence.
The nation remembered Ewood Park fell silent as well. Now then, Rovers against Newcastle United, second half live, and Blackburn lead by a goal to nil. Let's rejoin Andy Gray and Ian Dodd.
Thank you, Richard. A movingly observed 2-minute silence, and the memories of those brave men and women of half a century ago who gave their lives in the cause of freedom, reminding us all at a timely moment that football, wonderful entertainment that it is, should always be seen in its proper context. Blackburn Rovers leading by a goal to nil here, in search of their first championship since 1914, 81 long years ago. Newcastle themselves haven't won it since 1927. Alan Shearer's goal separating the sides. Watson wide for Hottaker, and now here is Darren Peacock, who did some sterling work in that Newcastle defence in the first half. Is the Norwegian international, Henning Berg, up towards Batty, but Beresford was the one who cut it out. Beresford again. Lee. Now it's Rule Fox. Gillespie pushed in from the right-hand side, and the consequence was that ball too long for it. Now then, David Batty. Sutton is out wide. Shearer in the middle. And 2-0 to Pavel Sarnacek.
Well, it was half a chance for Chris Sutton really to pick out Alan Shearer, because John Beresford had really gone forward in the last attack and wasn't quite back in.
Foul by Shearer on Beresford. Shearer, the footballer of the year last year, and the Players' Player of the Year this time round. Peacock. And that's Steve Howie. Watson. Clark, losing football from Newcastle, but where's it going? Fox. Beardsley offers support. Now Beresford. Fox again. Quite a few Newcastle players forward this time. And it was McKenna it was who got it behind, with Lee waiting behind him.
Good patient football again from Newcastle. And there was an end product across into the box.
Beardsley playing the 1-2 with Lee. Sherwood can bring it away for Blackburn, who had everybody back behind the ball.
Well, they do that at corners, and they do pull every single player back, and when they then break out, they often lose possession again pretty quickly with no one in a position to receive the ball.
Fox, it's meat and drink for Hendry.
Yeah, he won't mind them too much. Pearson, Henry, balls tossed up in the air. It's the ones that are slid down the side of them, and the movement that Lee and Beardsley produce, it would worry them.
The Blackburn Rovers would love the luxury of a second goal to give them a cushion here. But any kind of win is going to be priceless for them. Ripley. Sutton again with a little dummy, looking to cause problems. Got through a mountain of work again, Chris Sutton. Here he is again. Lasso. Well, it was bending away, but there was danger again.
Didn't quite hit it cleanly. It was always, from the moment it left his foot, to me it was always away from the goal, not really threatening Černeček, who was well across and had it quite comfortably covered.
And that's out of play.
I mean, two things that we know. I think if the second goal doesn't come in, then one or two nerves might start to appear as the game goes on. But they also know that they don't have to go chasing a goal, and I think that's important. Very much like Manchester United yesterday. The second goal didn't arrive, and it wasn't a classic performance from the champions, but they knew they didn't have to chase a goal. So the important thing for them was not to concede, and I think that's what Kenny Dalglish would have been stressing at half-time to his back four. Listen, you've only kept one clean sheet in the last 9 league games. Tonight's the night. Well, you know, when managers make demands, it would be fair to say he'd be making demands on that man, saying, Colin, you've got to keep us tight, you've got to keep that clean sheet.
David Batty, who's already won a championship medal with Leeds, playing this into Lasso again. He looks dangerous, goes for the 1-2 with Shearer. Thinks he might have had a nudge, Lasso, but he might have been asking for quite a lot there of the referee.
More in hope than belief, the claim.
His was a great cross for the goal. It was almost as if he had a sand iron for football boots. The way he dug out the cross. This is Lee Clark. Berg's long ball. Sutton looking to get him behind. He certainly held Howie's shirt there. And that's why the free kick has been given. Philip Don did pick it up.
See it here, just there it is, quite clearly. And then another little tug on the right shoulder, just to make sure.
Pierce cuts it out this time for Blackburn Rovers. Some chewed fingernails among the Blackburn fans. Hoping beyond hope that their side can hold on. It would be absolute agony for them if, having led the championship race for 5 months now, they were to blow it right at the death.
Well, it would be agony, but if you blow it, you blow it in. You only win the championship by doing it over the 42 games, not over 40, and they know that. Certainly the manager knows that. He's been the distance.
Here's Shearer, and down he goes with Peacock's challenge, and Peacock will be asked and invited for a little word with Philip Don about that.
Well, it should be no more than a yellow card. It's a good way from goal. There are plenty others around, and nice to see that there is no more than a yellow card.
It's the first yellow card of the night, too, for Darren Peacock of Newcastle United. Sherwood on towards Sutton. Of course, Manchester United themselves know about the agony of missing out right in the final furlong against Leeds 3 years ago. When David Batty, then in a Leeds shirt, was part of that little drama. Shearer, just too long for his strike partner, Chris Sutton. Pelleting it away. He's had quite a season, as Pavel Černeček. He's saved a couple of penalties this year. He's been sent off a couple of times as well, including in the last game against Spurs, when Mike Hooper came on and saved a penalty from Jurgen Klinsmann. This is Ripley. Then Batty's back header, nobody behind him though, not in a blue and white half shirt anyway. Peacock now getting booed by the Blackburn fans for his foul on Shearer. One or two of them might have thought that was a professional foul for which he should have been sent off, but I don't think so, do you, Andy?
Not at all.
Pottinger, recent scorer for Switzerland. And towards Watson, who's fouled by Sherwood. Taken, well, it was taken quickly, and Berg cut it out, but the referee wants it taken from exactly where he says. So Newcastle get another chance, and here is Pottinger. Well, memories of that free kick come flooding back to our minds. Pottinger scored in the FA Cup here.
Yeah, they just turned their backs. Look how many Blackburn players actually turned their back on the play. You know, I think that's Tim Flower's concern. He had a little word with the people in front of him. And I think just to say, hey, come on, concentrate.
Offside. Beardsley to Will Fox. Beardsley again, but he breaks down and Pearce thumps it forward. Beardsley. Berg had read that, it just was under hit by Beardsley. And oh, that's well played by Harry. Pretty athletic.
He did well. I often think, I think tonight 2 or 3 times Blackburn have had the opportunity from this type of situation to really put the ball over the back too. And I always think there's no reason to be short. You can be as big as you like. If it runs through the goalkeeper, so what? But don't let it be cut out. They've just been short once or twice, looking for the front two.
Beardsley's clever little chip, but Pearce recovered the ground. Well, at the moment, it's the turn of the Manchester United fans to worry. Yesterday it was the Blackburn fans fretting as United beat Sheffield Wednesday. Same scoreline here. Blackburn with their noses in front. Beresford for Newcastle. This is Lee. Clark, good-looking ball. Kenner gets it away. It's picked up by Watson, though. Now then, away comes Sutton. Play on, says the referee, because Blackburn still have it with Shearer. He'll have to go alone, he won't mind that. Blackburn working so hard to get the ball back. Shearer this time. No doubting the passion, commitment and desire of Blackburn Rovers. Of course, they've got a manager who's been here and done it many times before. And that breaks into the space. Just talking about Kenny Dalglish, a radio reporter asked him the other day and said, how much help are you to the players in this situation with all your experience? He said, well, not much. We'd usually won it by now with Liverpool. Now here's Beresford for Newcastle. Pearce is opened up for him. The big defender goes on forward. Here is Sherwood. Important challenge by Howie. Really was.
What a run from Ian Pearce.
And Ian Pearce is now on just about the length of the pitch both ways to get back and defend as Newcastle develop this attack. Beardsley into Gillespie, who's moved infield from his usual right wing position for a moment.
But if they switch it again, Ian, they did have a 2-against-1 situation that right-hand side.
I think Kevin Moran had a point, didn't he, at half-time, when he said Newcastle don't seem to have that many players in the box very often.
I think that's fair. But that's the players, the personnel that Kevin's had to choose.
Well, Flowers there was asked a lot of questions by the back pass, just got there ahead of Gillespie, who caught him a little bit with his boot, I think.
Well, I think Gillespie's challenge was an honest one. And that's why the throw has gone to Newcastle.
That was the kind of dodgy moment that was unlikely to improve the nerves of the Blackburn supporters. Newcastle, of course, chasing this UEFA Cup place. It looked a formality for so long, particularly when they started with 28 points out of 33 at the beginning. They're really under pressure for that 5th place themselves from Leeds United. An hour on the clock. Blackburn 1, Newcastle United 0. Out by Hanningberg. Here's Ripley. No time for him. Beresford was very, very quickly in. Watson onto Clark. Clark through the gap, and an offside flag was up in any case.
Well, a switch was on again there as he worked the ball from left to right. Had they kept it going, Lee Clark decided to go straight. Had he just edged the ball to his right and kept the play going, and Beardsley was there, Hottiger was there, and Gillespie was there.
That's Ripley towards Shearer. Hottiger in possession. And now Beardsley. Hottiger again, the man who used to organise rock concerts in Switzerland. Free kick here. Beresford falls for Rule Fox. Here is Fox. This is danger. Ooh, it whistles over the bar. Goodness me.
You see, I think Blackburn would have expected not to have men up against them and in the box, but what they would also have expected was this type of thing. For Newcastle to work a position in on the edge of the box. They already have done in the first half with Beardsley's great shot. Fox works the opening himself, not closed down quick enough. No one goes out to meet him. Henry goes, well, late really, but one of the midfield players would have been expected to have closed Rule Fox down a little earlier. The shooting opportunity was there, but he couldn't provide the accuracy that Peter Beardsley did in the first half.
Yeah, you had a feeling there, but for the grace of God was a Newcastle equaliser. There's no doubt about it, Flowers was beaten. Happily for Blackburn, so was the bar. Pearce. Now Sherwood. Colin Hendry. Now Lasso. Possession goes to Newcastle with Gillespie, the tricky little Northern Ireland winger. Gillespie, who was the make-weight in the big Andy Cole deal, he was valued at £1 million, and Kevin Keegan made it absolutely clear that Gillespie was a very attractive part of the package as far as he was concerned. That's Watson, and that looked like a handball there.
Offside flag went up in anyway on this near side. But I tell you what, he wandered into a very dangerous position. Again, look, they've drawn Henry out the central of defence, and he's walked into that gap. That's a very tight decision. He did use his arm as well, you were quite right. But that's what they do, they try and draw the centre-halves into areas they don't want to go, and then just pop balls in behind.
Tremendous noise rolling around this refurbished Ewood Park. Blackburn fans, just talking to a few of them beforehand, were really excited, but they were getting pretty tight and tense about the way things have been developing, and wondering if their side are just losing their nerve.
I don't think the players were losing their nerve. And every team has I think a wobbly spell in the season. I just think, unfortunately for Blackburn Rovers, theirs coincides with the run-in. I think when you look at the strong characters they've got all the way down the spine of the side, the goalkeeper, Henry, Batty and Sherwood, Shearer up front, that's a really strong lineup, character-wise.
That's Shearer again! Sherwood's free kick, and Shearer with the instinctive volley was a bit unlucky. Well saved, Sanacek.
Yes, he was. A better connection, and well, it'd been difficult for the goalkeeper to have done anything there.
Oh, here's Clark. Now the young man who got the winner in that FA Cup tie here in January, posing problems again.
Certainly his running from midfield has caused problems, and he's found space. I would suggest a little bit too much space for Kenny Dalglish's liking.
Bit of transfer speculation, of course, surrounding Lee Clark. They say Middlesbrough are interested. I haven't had the chance to speak to Brian Robson about that, so I wouldn't be able to verify it one way or another, but he hasn't been a regular in Newcastle's first team. Here is Ripley. Well, for a moment, he was thinking that might be his moment.
He didn't quite get it out his feet. But when he struck it, I thought, is it going to hit Dan Peacock? I don't know if it goes through his legs. Well, almost does. And any deflection off him then might well have embarrassed the goalkeeper. Straight through his legs.
Here's Sherwood. Will Beresford's picked this up, and he's off on one of those pacey, surging runs forward. Now it's Fox, though. Blackburn working very, very hard to close down the space down there. Fox has recently shown what he can do, given a bit of space. Now here is Clark. Lee's dropped a bit deeper this time. There's a real fluidity about the Newcastle system. And not an easy side to keep a clean sheet against. But now Blackburn can counter. Shearer, Sutton's pulled wide to the left. Here he is. Very congested. Free kick that'll be. And probably a booking as well for Robert Lee.
Just slides in Chris Sutton. More obstruction than anything, really, than any attempted tackle.
Now, is this Blackburn Rovers' opportunity to get a two-goal cushion? Shearer takes it. Sanacek holds it.
He only takes a couple of steps up. See, as the goalkeeper wanders away, he's trying to take him by surprise. Really not enough pace on that one.
There's Shearer breaking in behind again. And Shearer puts it wide, and Newcastle escape. And Blackburn still only lead by one.
Well, the goalkeeper got lucky. He made a poor decision, in my opinion. Because this was his ball. His position was on the edge of the box. Shearer doesn't reach it till there. And that's not... I mean, we're so used to see him put these in that we're almost surprised when he doesn't. I wonder if he thought from it just to lift it over the goalkeeper. It sat up nicely to do that. He opted for the power outside of the right foot it hit and was always spinning wide.
And Newcastle will count themselves lucky to get away with that, with Shearer pulling the trigger. Oh, this has got Fox in. Here's Fox. Oh, towards the near post, and a vital save again by Flowers.
That's every bit as good, Ian, as the one in the first half for different reasons. Fox does everything right, comes inside on his strings. Now when Flowers is edging to his left to cover the far post, Fox pulls it back to the near post, and well, that was great agility from the goalkeeper.
This time it was Lee. Now it's Clark. Newcastle looking dangerous in this phase. Beardsley, was that a hand by Sherwood? It certainly couldn't have been intentional. get the feeling there are a few more anxious moments to come in this. Tim Flowers has certainly done his stuff tonight. Beresford, not a lot of room to work with. Not enough room, in fact. And Sherwood with the challenge. This is Gillespie. Now Lee. Sherwood. Now it's Ripley. Hasn't been able to make too much progress down this right-hand side tonight, Stuart Ripley. It's one avenue that Blackburn have been denied. Now here's Pottinger. Berg gets this one away, but Newcastle pick it up again. Another wave of attack from the Geordies.
Look at this, doing this is difficulty.
Here's Lee. Oh, and again, Tim Flowers, and that was swerving horribly.
That was the front two that's supposed to be playing up front that combine in the midfield 40 yards from goal. And that's why it's difficult for Blackburn, because people are moving all around them. And once again, as it's swerving away into that top corner, the goalkeeper, well, he's earning his money tonight, Tim Flowers.
Here comes the corner, just too long for Howie. Blackburn were glad about that. Well, that shot was like a, I don't know, Malcolm Marshall outswinger or something.
Who does he play for?
You know cricket now, I heard you the other day. Now, here is Batty. Jeff Kenner, out of play.
One or two anxious moments here. The Fox shot over the top. The Fox shot and save. And then the Lee shot and save.
And Blackburn just living a little precariously. There's still over 20 minutes left. Pearce will take no chances there.
Newcastle are playing well, I have to say. They've got good width to their play. The movement, as always, from Kevin Keegan's side is excellent.
Are you a bit surprised that they still have the money in their pocket, as it were, over the Andy Cole deal? Would you have thought they'd have bought by now?
Well, I think that Kevin was giving Paul Kitson a chance, Ian. And I think that's what's happened. But I certainly feel that Kevin will buy in the summer. But I don't think Kenny will be looking for a goalkeeper, because this goalkeeper in this second half has produced two excellent saves. That one, all about agility and movement, and then this one is it swerving and dipping away from him. Well, he's at full stretch again, gets both hands to it and claws it away.
Having a superb game, the England goalkeeper, Tim Flowers. Sutton battling away with it, refusing to accept defeat. Shearer was nearly in on it again, but Peacock got it away, not very far. Here's Kenner, the versatile man signed from Southampton, who's occupied 3 different positions in about 7 or 8 games since they signed him. As the possession, Newcastle, much more of it. Look at that in the second half. That tells a bit of a story. Oh, Shearer's got in behind, mistake by Peacock. Wonderful save by Cernicek, and Shearer is denied again. Well, Peacock will be the most relieved man at Ewood Park. It was his error.
Well, it's going to flow to it now, this game.
Gillespie. He's got another chance. Pottiger's in support. There's room here for Beardsley. He's played in behind Robert Lee. Fox. There's a real movement and fluency that spells danger about Newcastle at the moment. Clark. Oh, and Pearce did well there to just let Clark go past him and not stick out a leg and bring him down.
Full hands to the pump, though. But it doesn't matter. I said it yesterday when Manchester United were winning 1-0 in. It's not about performances. If you're leading the league and you're winning 1-0 at home, you've got to just preserve that. And if you do that, then you'll take it.
Shearer, a hint of handball, not given. Sutton's in support. Shearer waits, Sutton pulls away, Shearer goes alone, and it will be a corner.
Well, Sherwood was doing his best to get up and support. Alan Shearer's had 2 chances in the last 10 minutes, one of which I feel he'll think he should have taken and made maybe the last 15-20 minutes a little bit more comfortable.
Well, you'd feel, wouldn't you, with the mood of this game, that another goal has got to come somewhere. It hasn't happened yet. Chances at both ends, though. Lasso this time. And out of play by David Batty, who's still just working off a little bit of a rust, I suppose, after his long absence. So far, his superstition of cutting off his collar and Sherwood's of cutting his hair might be working for Blackburn. And we're looking for the change of luck. Beresford into Beardsley, dropping deep to try to pull the strings as usual. Hottiger into Clark. Beardsley, nearly found a way through to Hottiger, but Hendry cut it out.
And once again, how often I've said it, and the ball was just short. Any height at all in that from Peter Beardsley, and Mark Hottiger had made a wonderful run.
Of course, Newcastle, we were mentioning Scott Sellers, they've also missed Philippe Albert, haven't they, as well, with his cruciate knee ligament injury. That's put him out for the season. It really was a bad setback for them. Coming up to 13 minutes remaining for Blackburn to hold on to this precious lead and then move 5 points clear, they hope, of Manchester United, who would be left in the situation of having to win their last 2 to have any hope. But it's intriguingly poised because if they do win their last 2, United, Blackburn cannot afford to even draw against Liverpool, even if they win this, because of the goal difference. Here's Fox. Hendry this time, with his mop of blonde hair getting in the way again. This game moving towards a crescendo. This is Rule Fox. Close skills from him. Watson laying it down. Broken up though. It's more or less contained and counter now from Blackburn.
I think they're a little anxious. With the 1-0 lead, it's almost difficult for them to commit men forward in. Newcastle really do look threatening every time they're in possession of the ball.
Oh, that's Fox's ball to Gillespie. Nobody in the centre for it, though. If he pulls it back, there might be somebody. Beresford! Oh, great save again from Flowers. Tremendous save from him. How did he keep that out with his balance all the other way? And then Lee shots a long way wide. But Tim Flowers, who cost over £2 million, is paying it back here in one lump.
The Newcastle players are stunned. They can't believe they're still 1-0 down. But Gillespie, I thought he should have pulled this back. Beardsley screaming for it just out of shot. But he knocks an even better ball in. Beresford does everything right. It's a difficult one. He goes back across the goalkeeper. Look at his position, Flowers. Now watch. Quick feed across goal. Then he has to stop, throw that left hand down. And when he needed a little bit of help, then who was around? But it was the ever dependable Colin Henry to mop up the bit when it drops down in front of the goalkeeper. In comes Henry, and it's cleared.
Well, he certainly is the Blackburn Rovers hero. No question about that tonight, Tim Flowers. And John Beresford, who hasn't scored all season, must have thought there that he'd broken his duck.
It was a lovely move again. That's been threatening all night, that one. The ball, the switch from left side of the pitch to wide right for Gillespie.
Lee, wide again to Gillespie, who set up the chance. Here he goes again. Pulled back, and Fox this time, and it was charged down by Henningberg. That was another opportunity.
Wasn't a great header from Will Fox. It was a great cross from Keith Gillespie.
Well, Gillespie is beginning to torture that Blackburn defence over there. And Beardsley, it wasn't the best of calls from him. It asked a lot of Gillespie, but the idea, I think, the old master saying, let's give Gillespie the ball as much as we can. Robbie Slater's going to come on instead of Stuart Ripley, who hasn't had one of his best nights. So the substitute is Robbie Slater, born, well, half an hour down the road from here at Ormskirk, but brought up in Australia.
Little change they're making, Ian. They're so concerned with Gillespie. Word has come on from the touchline. Switch Lasso and Kenna. And Graham Lasso is now operating in his more natural left-back position. That's the concern they have in the Blackburn bench.
Now Blackburn attacking this time. Batty to the red-headed Slater. Sherwood. Lasso has only quickly picked up, move back to left-back to Mark Gillespie. So Kenna in a more advanced role now. The clock shows just over 8 minutes remaining, and they're going to be, well, just about the longest 8 minutes in the lives of the Blackburn Rovers players, officials and supporters. Because make no mistake about it, Newcastle United have looked on the verge of scoring on a number of occasions in this second half and still might do.
It's incredible to think that their away form has been so poor over recent months. And we witness a performance like this with many, many players not available to Kevin Keegan.
Here's Lee, Watson. And across comes Pearce.
The pressure's still on the way, and a quick throw in.
Ottiger. Fox isn't the tallest man in there, but it landed at his feet anyway. Slater down the channel. Oh, he quickly covering the ground. Can Blackburn hold on? Can they really turn the heat on Manchester United? If it stays like this, Blackburn Rovers will go 5 points clear, and Manchester United would have to beat Southampton in the game we're showing you on Wednesday night. Otherwise, Blackburn would be champions. Lots of ifs, buts and maybes. We'll have all the answers in a maximum of 6 days.
Well, it's interesting to see the action areas, all the pressure exerted in the Blackburn defence.
Oh, this has got through to Fox this time. Oh, that was so cool by Hendry. Just let it bounce off his chest on the angle behind for the corner.
I wonder if, again, look at the width of the play, and the diagonal ball, Berg misjudges it. And again, it's a little bit lack of support. We've talked about it often, when they're broken quickly like that.
Big defenders are forward. Here's the Newcastle corner. Hendry wins it in the air predictably. Out only, though, to Robert Lee. Appeals for offside given. And I've never heard an offside decision cheered so much in my life. He can't watch it.
He'll have to. It's just over 5 minutes. And for Blackburn Rovers supporters and players, it might be a long 5 minutes.
If you've got a slightly nervous disposition, leave now. Kenny Dalglish left Liverpool to get away from the pressure. Pottinger hammers it forward. Hendry. Beresford. Pearce. Oh, Shearer goes past Howie in an instant. Peacock, though, does very, very well there. And bails out his defensive partner.
What Kevin Keegan has done, and he swapped Lee and Watson. And Watson's now operating right up front. Robert Lee's just dropped deep into the midfield area.
Sherwood picks it up, and now there are just over 4 minutes remaining.
Well, you would expect him to try and keep possession, but Blackburn are really having trouble doing that.
But the result is absolutely everything.
Well, that is it.
Fox. And it's well played by Lasso.
That change of play was on again, Ian.
Blackburn Rovers are so close.
And usually you look around the ground with 3 minutes left and there are people streaming out having seen enough. Not a soul is leaving the ground here.
They're far, far too young to remember the last time, 1914. And they've seen some rocky old times here. But Jack Walker's millions have helped to transform the club. And the shrewdness of Kenny Dalglish, the application of the players. They're 1-0 up here. Here's Beardsley. Sherwood cuts it out, and every second that Blackburn can keep possession of the ball is vital to them. Here's Batty. Offside, Newcastle have it back again.
Well, Newcastle have played a huge part really in testing Blackburn's resolve tonight. With a super performance from Kevin Keegan's side.
Beresford. Well, if they played like this through the midwinter months, I'm sure their place in Europe would already be assured.
Well, there have been many good performances in Newcastle jerseys tonight, Ian. And in many games they wouldn't be trailing, but they're trailing 1-0 because of one man, in my opinion, and he's my Carling Premiership man of the match. And it's not Alan Shearer, it's the goalkeeper, Tim Flowers, who's made 4 or 5 wonderful saves.
There'll be no dissenting voices about that, I'm sure. Hendry gets this away. And crucially, Batty picks it up, but possession is surrendered. Here's the dangerous Keith Gillespie. He's still got it, Gillespie. Oh, and he goes down, no penalty. And you have to say, Philip Don was right on the spot. He was but a yard and a half away from that as it happened. He was brilliantly placed in his last league match.
It couldn't have been better position. His indication is Gillespie dives. But certainly Colin Henry flies at Gillespie. Out goes the leg, he jumps over it. And had the referee not been in such a good position, then many would have given a penalty.
Well, a key decision for the referee to make in his very last game. Fox. Oh, this has come out to Beardsley now. Played in towards Clark. It's a really exciting, intense finish here. Inside the last minute. And Newcastle have it again. The Blackburn fans are screaming for the final whistle. Flowers has to punch it away for the corner. This must be pretty unbearable if you're a Blackburn Rovers fan. Andy and I here are trembling a bit watching this finish ourselves as neutrals.
Oh, it's super. If you want to win a championship, Ian, you get tested at various times through the season. Blackburn are being tested to their absolute limit tonight.
Pottinger! Wide of the post. Just look at some of those faces. Look at the fellow in the background there, with his hands up to his mouth. There's the splendid Ewood Park, set amid this famous old Lancashire town in Red Rose country. What a spectacular sight. What a spectacular finish. Injury time now. Bad bounce. Hendry hammers it straight against Clark, but that's a Blackburn throw, and still the referee won't blow.
Well, like yesterday, and you wait to hear if it stays 1-0, the roar that goes around this ground. It'll be anything that's ever greeted a goal here.
Here's Shearer, who might want to take the ball into the corner and waste a bit of time. Yep, that's exactly what his battle plan is. And there's not a professional footballer in the country who would blame him. There goes the whistle. Philip Don blows his whistle, and VE Day is also victory at Ewood Day for Blackburn Rovers. They move 5 points clear of Manchester United, who now have to beat Southampton at Old Trafford on Wednesday night. Otherwise, Blackburn are the champions, and Blackburn will win the title anyway, whatever else happens, if they can beat Liverpool at Anfield on Sunday. What a dramatic game it was here. Alan Shearer got the only goal. There could have been 5 or 6 more easily.
Blackburn have won a game because of one man tonight, and strangely enough, Ian, it isn't Alan Shearer. It's that man right in our picture. He's pulled off 5 saves of the highest quality tonight, and that's the reason that Blackburn Rovers' destiny remains firmly in their own hands.
I have to say it was a bit hard luck on Newcastle United. You'd say in the normal run of things they deserved a point, but deserving in this situation really has very little to do with it. Blackburn Rovers have got the result they wanted, and Newcastle United will still have the sweat on whether they go into the UEFA Cup next season. The relief here is audible. Blackburn Rovers have beaten Newcastle by 1-0. The gap now is 5 points, and Blackburn Rovers are so near to that first championship. There is the table. You can see United have got the better goal difference, but that gap is 5 points. Blackburn win at Anfield. They win the title. What a night. Again here, a tumultuous occasion, wasn't it?
Oh, it's been wonderful. Yesterday we said, now it's over to you, Blackburn. Can you keep it going? They've answered, not convincingly, but they've answered. They've done what they had to do. Win the game. Now we go back to Old Trafford on Wednesday night to see if the champions can ask further questions of the team who won the championship. And Nick Collins, I think, has Tim Flowers downstairs.
Thanks, Andy. Indeed, I have. Tim, many congratulations. They didn't make it easy for you, though, did they?
Never really expected that they would, to be honest with you. They're not where they are in the league for no reason at all. They kept us busy defensively all night. But don't talk to me about bottle. Don't talk to me about bottling it, because that's bottle out there. That's quality players giving their all.
The crowd seemed to be very nervous towards the end. Was that spreading through to the players at all?
So I suppose we was all a bit nervous. You're not human unless you're nervous. I think every player and every manager's nervous. I mean, it doesn't matter how much you make out, you are. But the ball's back in United's court now. They've got a very tough game against Southampton, and we're going to fight to the death because we've got bottle.
You made several magnificent saves. I think we can show you a few of them. One in the first half and several in the second half that we're going to show you the second half ones.
Yeah, I think we're all just cut inside there, and they're the nightmare because you can't see him come through the legs, do you know what I mean? But this one's moved a little bit from Robert, it's like that. And I was just looking to get a finger to it in the end. I was quite pleased to get a finger to it. That's just one probably that you work on from training a little bit, coming back from your near post. But I'm happy with that, and I think all the lads are, because we went out trying to win today. We gave everything we got.
5 points clear now. You've still got one more game to go. Do you think, though, that perhaps now you've finally done enough?
No, nobody's ever said that at this club. People have put it into our mouths, but no one's ever said it. We've got a very tough game at Liverpool. It's a bit of a derby game. United have got 2 games. It's going to go right the way to the wire. I expect it good in the last game. But all we can say is that we'll give exactly what we gave today, exactly what we've given all season, and that is a 100% bottle.
Will you be getting in touch with players from your old club, Southampton, who have the chance to actually win the title for you, haven't they, on Wednesday?
Well, they have, but no, I won't be. I mean, I'll speak to them anyway, but I won't be speaking to them before the game.
Listen, terrific performance, Jim. Rightly named the Carling man of the match. Well played tonight. Well done.
Much. I'm very pleased to get it. First time ever. Thank you.
Well done, Tim.
Well, he deserved it, didn't he? Tim Flowers, who kept Blackburn in it tonight. What a second half that was. Full marks to Newcastle United, who came here and made Blackburn work. You'd think they'd won the title already. They haven't. Manchester United won't give it up that easily. Fantastic scenes at Ewood Park, though. 5 points the gap, and Manchester United have to beat Southampton on Wednesday night.